We're here today with Jared Sund of StableCamper.com, and he has a new truck bed product.
Yeah, so let me talk about that and show it a little bit. Maybe I'll show you some of our other products on our camper as well.
Absolutely, yeah, lead the way.
Perfect. So let's start with our StableCamper flagship product, which is our stabilization kit. This is what we first came to market with. So the whole idea of our product, you can see here in these white poles connected to our camper, is when the camper's sitting on the ground, that you want it stable and rock solid, and you don't want it rocking around. We've been here in Quartzsite, just finished up the Truck Camper Adventure Rally. The last couple days the wind's been howling. We've been off the truck with our system on here. This camper, I can't even move it. It's just rock solid. So the wind's howling all night, all day long, and our camper is rock solid. And that's the intent of our product. So it's comprised of a side tube system and a front tube system. We just box in the front jacks, and that supports this camper as if there was jacks sitting underneath it. In fact, many people say this camper is more stable off the truck now than it is on the truck. Stows very easily, so the front tubes, you just unscrew them a bit, and they just twist in and mount right here on the front of your truck bed. And your truck bed's sitting here, so they don't fall off. They're just sitting there as you go down the road in your storage position. The side tubes remove, and they have underwing mounts that store up underneath here. The side tubes just store up on some wing mounts that mount under the wing or on the side, depending on where you have clearance on your truck. So they're very conveniently stored on the truck. For transport, they're right there where you need them, and then when you drop your camper, whether it's at home for storage or you're out camping, you just simply insert them, screw them down, take the tension out of the system, and now the camper is rock solid. So it's a great product. You can find out more about it on StableCamper.com. We do a series of accessory products, so like if we move around to the back of the camper, we do a set of ladder mounts. So these ladder mounts here, we use a quick fist system that's well known in the off-road industry. We just make adapters to mount them to a 1-inch standard ladder or an 1.5 inch like this one. And we do a big quick fist that's normally for like a shovel or an axe or something like that, and the small quick fist for holding a broom or something. I actually put my Omni antenna up with that and hold it right on there. A few other small products that is on ours. We're avid fly fishermen, so we build a fly fishing or just a fishing pole mount. So you walk up from fishing to camp, simply slide in and pop your fishing poles in here. Not for transport unless you don't really like your poles that much, but perfect for when you get back to camp and you just want to not have it sitting rubbing against the side of the camp or laying down for somebody to step on. They just pop in and sit right here, right out of the way. A lot of us tow, so we have long extensions. I used to throw mine into the camper, and then one day I realized if I come back to camp and I've got my trailer and that extension's gone, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. So then I started lugging it into the back of the truck and chaining it down, and that was a pain. I thought there's got to be a better answer. So we build an extension mount storage system. Just slides in your receiver, bolts on. We build it for the Canon 3-inch, regular 2.5 inch, or we build it for the Torqueless Super Truss systems. And they all just twist and store right in here. Also, a lot of these are really heavy, so having to carry them around is kind of a pain. Slide it out, spin it, and it just stows right here out of the way, and no problems. It also makes kind of a nice step for getting in the back of your truck.
True.
So let's talk about this new truck that we've created. So this truck is a 2020 Dodge Ram 5500 Limited. Like many truck camper people, our camper has grown in size, and we used to run on a 3500, and we had all the suspension mods, 19.5 upgrade on it, and we were still just so far overweight that it was finally time to move to a cab chassis. At that time, we started looking at truck beds, and there's some really great truck bed products out there already. But they're a bit pricey and a bit specialized for truck campers, and it wasn't really what we wanted. So we started looking at different things that we could do on a truck bed to make them more applicable to us and maybe even to more truck camper people. So we partner with a company called CM Truck Beds. They're out of Oklahoma. They have nationwide distribution already. And so this bed that you see here is an aluminum SK skirted CM standard truck bed. They make this in a steel version. They also make a non-skirted version that you can put your own boxes on. It's just a flat deck headache rack. So we'll accommodate those two types of beds. One's called an RD and an ALRD for the non-skirted version, steel and aluminum, and then a steel skirted or an aluminum skirted bed. And these are very popular. They're available all over the country. They're a great company, a great bed. What we've built for it is what we call a StableCamper Truck Camper Bed Kit for it, which will include a set of boxes, a camper tie-down system for it. We move around to the back. You can see on the back there is a mountable and removable truck camper backstop in it. So something for your truck camper to rest against when it's in the truck. And then we haven't designed it yet, but there will be a tailgate that's removable as well. So the 4 pieces for our truck camper kit will be boxes, the stop, the mounts, and the tailgate kit. These beds also come stock with an 18,000 pound B&M receiver on it. And then if I climb up in here, they also come with a 30,000 pound gooseneck hitch already in them. You can get them with the removable beds or a removable ball, or like ours is a welded in one. So you could put a 5th wheel hitch into here or the gooseneck. And that's all comes standard with the CM truck beds. The backstops and the boxes are just bolted on. So they'll be easily removable, so you can go right back to a flatbed with no problem. Even the boxes, we put handles on them and so forth. This design here, if we step back down out of the truck, on the outside face of the truck, like I said, this is a skirted CM truck bed. It comes standard with boxes already built in, both the front and rear box. They have compression latches in them, so they have a nice seal once you stack them together, locking, all the right things you expect in a truck box bed. And then our boxes that we'll build, this is what we call our long version, but we'll also make a split version, so it'll be more modular and lighter weight and easier to pull off. So you could go with a long box on one side, modular boxes on the other side, or all modular. You could drop a box, put a cooler on there, anything you want to do. And that'll be the StableCamper truck box kit that we'll do. So let me open this one up to show you the kind of room in here. We have the same latches, same hardware as the CM bed, so the flow is all right. And then here we've got, as you can see, some of our StableCamper packaging and boxes and stuff, but a ton of storage in here. These boxes are 101 inches long on this particular truck. The height of the box is the same as a bed rail of a truck, so we're about 20 inches in height. The inner distance is the same as an inner wheel well distance on a pickup truck. So this truck bed will handle any truck camper you want to put on. It's not specialized to, if I have an Arctic Fox today and I want to move to a Host or an Eagle Cap or a Lance later, those will fit on here as well. So we're keeping these boxes and this bed generic enough that it'll fit any truck camper you want to put in. Any truck camper you can put in a truck bed, you'll be able to put on this system. So it gives you ample storage for, you know, anything you want to haul. Long stuff, short stuff, all in here. And they have the same locking compression hinges on them as well. Let me just talk a little bit more about the bed options that are available. So with the skirted model, it's a very well integrated, very nice looking system. You are limited to the boxes that come with them. So you could, in fact, let me open up the back one too so you can get a view of that. Back here you can see I'm keeping my electrical, my water connections, all that stuff in a nice box there. For truck camper people, more storage is always great. As another option, you could also go with a non-skirted model that doesn't have these integrated boxes. CM makes a bed that's just a flat bed with the tailgate, with the same hitches, all that stuff is stock. But you could integrate your own boxes. So if you're worried about where a spare tire would mount, like for us, we have dual tanks on this truck, so where your spare tire would be, there's a big tank, fuel tank back there. For me, I happen to mount on the receiver because we're always towing. But if I wanted to have the non-skirted model, I could have a box on one side, I could have a spare tire rack on the other side if I wanted. So there's lots of different options here. If I wanted something maybe a bit more off-road capable, I might not want this low skirted deck, so I could put a wedge box underneath here as well to get better approach. So we're looking at how can we supply a good configurable but standard system to help bring both the availability and the pricing down on these things. This bed system you see here, with the skirted aluminum bed and our truck camper kit on it, will retail unfinished. The finishing work you could spend whatever you want on, but in aluminum unfinished, which would be fine to just go down the road unfinished too, will run about $10,000. Now, if you drop that down in options and also run to like a steel flat deck and put your own boxes on there, it could be as low as about $6,000. So those are just our cost targets that we're working on, but that's where we're focused at, is to help bring these costs down using standard equipment, standard beds. And as you can see, it still looks amazing. This is a well integrated into the headache rack system, so the boxes look right, it fits right. In fact, ours is a hangover, it has a hangover on the back, so the hangover of the camper comes down, so the whole box looks very well integrated. One other thing to mention, this particular truck is a 60-inch cab axle, cab chassis truck. So this is a 9'4" bed by 94 inch wide. It's actually, from the outside of the bed, it's actually a little bit narrower than the fender wells on a dual truck, on like a 3500 dual truck, so there's no problem getting your camper into here. With the angled front, there's plenty of room for your swinging jacks on these. That's not a problem. If you're doing like a 2500 or a 3500 truck, a regular standard pickup bed, and you want to convert to a flatbed, it would be an 8'6" bed for a standard 8-foot bed, but very similar in configuration. The weight of this bed here, I haven't quite got it dialed in, but my guess is between about 1,300 and 1,500 pounds for the whole bed. Hitches, everything included, including our StableCamper kit.
And are these on sale now, or are they coming in the future?
So this is our first prototype. We raced to get it done for the Truck Camper Adventure Rally here in Quartzsite. The showing was amazing. We've gotten a huge uptick on interest and people that are really excited about going on this. So now the race is on to bring this to market. So we'll be designing the split boxes and figuring out how to get this all into production here real quick. Also, I should mention about finish work. So if you were to buy a steel deck bed, it'll come powder coated. Our boxes are all aluminum, so they'll stay unfinished, but you'll be able to go to any dealer, any auto body shop, and you can have any finish work applied that you wanted. Like for ours, we had all the aluminum polished to make it very pretty, all high grade automotive paint, and then we did Line-X throughout the whole bed system. So even inside the boxes, we had them all Line-X'd as well. The big boxes and the side boxes. The whole deck was Line-X'd. And then we even Line-X'd all the outside surfaces except for the face of the big box, so that the whole box would be usable. Like I can just toss up my stuff right out of here onto here, because it's all Line-X, so very durable. So your choices on how you want to finish off a bed like this is endless. And there are a multitude of different options for trays and dividers and slide out drawers for any of these truck beds. Our goal is to make these truck beds available across the country through CM truck bed dealers, so that if you live on the East Coast, you don't have to drive to the West Coast to get a truck bed. Also, lead time on a bed like this, it can vary. Obviously this year with COVID, things are a little bit off, but there are normal lead times on a truck bed like this, if it's not already on at a dealer's location, is about 4 to 8 weeks. So you could figure a very quick turnaround on getting your truck bed system all done. And you can see these are also Line-X all inside and out as well. So we did a lot on finish work on this, just to kind of show what a modular standard truck bed system could really look like. So this turned out to be a very beautiful truck. Let me circle back around to why we went this route and why we chose this bed configuration. So there was a few things that we were interested in. One is we didn't have any specialized needs, so we didn't need a bed that was highly customized or tailored to us. We needed a bed, boxes, and a good fit for our truck camper, and that was about it. We wanted the extra storage. We'd gotten a cab chassis truck for the extra payload for our large camper and the big trailer we tow. So we're not doing off-road, we're not having any special gear that we need to haul, we just wanted storage space. So we felt like this was something that many truck camper people would need. So if we were going through this, we might as well look at developing a product kit set that would be available to everyone. A few other things that as far as like our goals for this is a beautiful truck. It's a Ram 5500 limited version, beautiful truck. We certainly spent quite a bit of money on this truck, and we put a beautiful bed on there. But in 1 to 2 years, in 3 years, we may want to do something different in our RV life. Maybe we want a smaller camper, we want overlanding, we want something different. I didn't want to build a truck that had a narrow scope of resale to just a certain segment of like the RV market. This truck is still just a regular flatbed work truck at the end of the day. You could sell this to somebody that has a big horse trailer, living horse quarter trailer. I mean, if you want to peek inside, it's definitely a Cadillac truck. There's no doubt about it. but some farmer or some foreman, somebody that wants a full leather package truck, it's not just sold now to a truck camper person. So as far as for like resale for us, sinking money into a truck like this and still having a big availability on resale was pretty important. The boxes, like I said, they just bolt on and off. They come right off. You can be right back to a flatbed. So if I want a whole 4 pallets of cement on here or whatever it is I need, I pop the boxes off and I've got a full flatbed back at my disposal.
How are the boxes secured?
They're just bolted in through the bed. On this one, like I said, I was in a rush to get to here, so I've just through bolted and nutted them. But we're going to have a single side system, so the nuts will be locked into the bottom of the bed, and you'll just drop in your bolts, bolt it down, pop them off, and you won't have to climb under the bed to actually remove any of this stuff. And like you can see on the back, we've placed handles on these, so the long boxes are a little bit heavy. Obviously, this is 1/8 inch aluminum, so we made them nice and stout. But we put handles on here. 2 grown men can pull this off pretty easily. But we want to do a split box too, so husband and wife or whatnot, you don't have to be 6 foot tall to get these off here. That make them a little modular, a little easier to remove too.
Oh, and it has the integrated camera?
Yeah, so as a limited truck, or a Laramie or some of the higher end packages, when you buy a cab chassis, they come with the rear sensors, the camera and stuff, so those just installed right on the bed. So instead of them already being integrated into the bumper or the tailgate, since this type of truck doesn't have them, you still get that equipment when you buy the truck. So yeah, we just popped them all on here and off it goes. When we decided to go from a 3500 to a 5500 truck, we're always worried about cost and what the expense was, but I was shocked to find out the 5500 versus a 3500 well-equipped truck or even just rubber and cloth, there's not much price difference. Now obviously when you buy a cab chassis, you don't have the bed to deal with. But on our 3500, we put thousands of dollars into hitches and suspension mods and tires and 19.5 upgrade on them, over airbags and sway bars and all the stuff to be able to handle a camper. We put thousands of dollars. We put the frame mounts for mounting our camper to it. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So by the time I bought the 3500 truck and then put all the mods I needed to carry a camper onto it, versus buying a 5500 cab chassis, and then in our price point of boxes, it's almost a wash. And no matter what I did to my 3500, it doesn't change my gross vehicle weight rating. So I was still at 14,000. So running overweight, even with all my mods to handle the weight, I'm still running overweight. Where in this truck, we run a large EcoCap 1165. This truck sits level. It's heavy, but it sits level. It drives great. It drives so much better than our 3500. And from a cost perspective, it was a wash. Now obviously state to state you need to find out about moving up to this class of vehicle on your registration, your insurance, all that sort of stuff, but a lot of people are doing this, and it was shocking to me to see the price difference between a modified 3500 and a stock with a standard bed kit on it. It was about the same. So here I've got 19,500 pounds of payload. The 3500, even with all the mods I carried, I'm still at 14,000 legally. The wheelbase on a truck, they vary based on cab configuration and also based on the manufacturer, right? Some cabs are just longer than others. Like a Ford's got a bigger cab on it. So the wheelbase can vary based on configuration of truck, a 2-door, king cab, a crew cab, mega cab, all that sort of stuff. But there's a standard dimension they use called the cab to axle ratio, or cab to axle length, which is the back of the cab to the center line of the axle. So if you went to like a standard 8-foot bed pickup, like a 3500, that's a 56-inch distance. Standard cab chassis come in a 60-inch and an 84-inch, right? And they do that so that upfitters can build the same boxes to fit Chevy, for all the major brands, Dodge, all of them. So you can put a dump truck, a flatbed, a wrecker body on them. They couldn't have this dimension bearing. So that's standard dimensions. From a length perspective, we're 4 inches back farther with the camper than we were on the 3500.
And do you think that causes any potential issues with center of gravity?
None at all, because this is a 60-inch. I'm 4 inches back farther on the axle. Now, the more interesting part on the cab to axle ratio is because I have a longer bed, the bits of the camper that hang down limits how far forward I can push the camper. The sewer tubes, the Jenny pan, whatever it might be on yours. But even here on ours, I'm supporting 6 to 8 inches more camper on the bed than I was in the 3500, even though I'm 4 inches back farther from the cab, because the bed's longer and I'm not losing any more on my CG, because the axles are back farther. So the camper is actually, from me as a driver, it's sitting back a little bit farther, but I'm actually supporting more of it on the bed than before. So as far as the camper like going down the road and hinging more, I've got, I think it's about 6 to 8 inches more camper on the bed of the truck, which is really nice. So, and even moving this truck with all this weight, on the 3500 I had porpoising and all kinds of weird stuff that you'll get in those trucks, especially with long hangover campers. None of that on this truck. And as far as weights on this, so when we're in this camper and everything, we're 18, that we've scaled coming down here, and we're rigged for long haul right now. We'll be on the road for a month or two or better. So we're 18,500 pounds on this truck with our camper full of water, all our gear, all the food we could carry. You know, we're stuffed to the gills. We're 18,500 pounds, and we're pulling about an 8,000 pound trailer, and this truck handled it beautifully. And I still had 1,000 pounds of payload on the truck. I've owned truck campers for 25 years. This is my 5th truck camper, and I think my 4th truck. 5th truck. This might be the first one I've ever been underweight on. And it's the biggest system I've had.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, it's a different feeling when you're got the right gear. And no suspension mods in here. This thing just sits level,
Completely
handles
stock.
it 100% stock.
And you're not having, your headlights aren't blinding people? Or
Well, we're
anything?
sitting level. I wish the headlights on these trucks would understand a little. You know, they do all this intelligence, I could do a little more. So once in a while, somebody brights me, but usually we're coming over a hill or something. But we sit perfectly level on this truck when we're loaded down, even at 18,500 pounds.
Well, Jared, you got a really nice setup here. If people are interested, where can they find more about it?
So you can find more about it on our website at StableCamper.com, or you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at StableCamper as well.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. It's wonderful.
Thanks. Great seeing you guys.
Thank you.
Had a great time at the rally too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.